Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the epic Mahabharata. But we're not starting with the Great War. No, we're going way, way back, generations before, to uncover this incredible chain of curses and broken promises that basically made the whole conflict unavoidable.
You know, this one line from the epic, it really gets to the absolute heart of our story today. It's this recurring, tragic theme of sacrifice, where the choices and, the mistakes of one generation become this heavy, inescapable burden for the next. So where does this all begin? Well, not on Earth, believe it or not. Our story kicks off in Swarga, the heaven of the gods, with a really powerful king named Mahabharata, who had totally earned his spot there.
Okay, so picture this. The god Indra is holding court, and all of a sudden a breeze blows through, revealing the beautiful river nymph Ganga. Now, all the other gods, out of respect, they look away, but Mahabharata, he just stares. He's completely captivated. This moment of, quote, unbridled passion makes Indra so angry he casts Mahabharata right out of heaven.
And just like that, the punishment is set. Mahabharata is going to be reborn as a mortal king, a guy named Shantanu. And Ganga, well, since she kind of enjoyed the attention, she gets sent down to Earth too, but with one single, incredibly cruel mission: to break the heart of the very man who wanted her so badly. It's this whole cosmic setup for tragedy, and it all started with just one look.
So let's fast forward. Years later, back on Earth, the curse starts to play out. King Shantanu is hanging out by the river, and he sees this unbelievably beautiful woman gliding on a dolphin. He falls in love, like instantly. And of course, it's Ganga.
He asks her to marry him, and she agrees. But, and this is a huge but, she has this one condition. It's absolute, and frankly, it's terrifying. But Shantanu, he is so blinded by desire, he just says yes. No hesitation, no questions asked.
And this, right here, this is where the law of karma just takes over. It's a huge theme in the Mahabharata. The idea is that nothing just happens. Shantanu's fate, this intense love that you just know is doomed for tragedy, it's a direct result of what he did in his past life as Mahabharata.
And he finds out just how horrifying that promise is almost immediately. Their first son is born, and Ganga, calm as can be, takes the baby to the river and drowns him. Shantanu is just shattered, but he's trapped by his own promise. He can't say a word because he's terrified of losing her.
And this doesn't just happen once. This happens again and again for 7 straight years. He watches in this silent agony as Ganga gives birth to 7 of his sons and drowns every single one of them. He keeps choosing his wife over his children year after agonizing year.
But with the 8th child, he just snaps. He can't take it anymore. He screams, "Stop!" And in that moment, his vow is broken. And Ganga? She smiles. Her job's done. His heart is officially broken. She tells him their sons were actually cursed gods, and she was just setting them free. But this 8th son, she names him Devavrata, he is now doomed to live a very long and very terrible life. And with that, she's gone, and she takes the boy with her.
So years go by. Devavrata is eventually returned to his father, and he's the perfect prince. But King Shantanu is still a wreck, a total mess. That is, until he falls in love again. This time with a woman named Satyavati, who has this irresistible, fragrant scent about her.
And you can see where this is going, right? The same tragic pattern starts all over again. Satyavati has a condition too, and this one puts the entire kingdom at risk. Devavrata is already the crown prince. Everyone loves him. How can Shantanu possibly promise the throne to any of Satyavati's future kids? He can't, so he just sinks back into depression. Seeing his dad so completely miserable, Devavrata decides to fix it himself. He goes to Satyavati and renounces his claim to the throne. But her father's like, hold on, what about your kids? They could challenge my grandkids. So Devavrata, right then and there, makes this absolutely staggering, life-destroying vow of celibacy. I mean, this vow is so extreme, so completely unheard of, that the entire universe basically stops to take notice. The gods literally shower flowers down from the heavens. They give him a new name, Bhishma, which means the one who took the most terrible of vows. And for this incredible sacrifice, they give him a gift, the power to choose the moment of his own death.
Bhishma's act is a textbook example of what scholars call the Yayati complex. This idea of celebrating a son who completely sacrifices his own happiness for his father's pleasure. But as we're about to see, this one decision, this one act of love, is going to have absolutely devastating consequences for pretty much everyone.
So, Satyavati gets exactly what she wanted. Shantanu marries her, she has 2 sons, but, well, fate has other plans. Both of her sons die before they can have any children of their own, leaving the throne of Hastinapura completely empty. Her ambitions are just shattered.
And now, Bhishma, the guy who gave up the throne, is ironically the one who has to protect it. He starts taking desperate measures. He goes to another kingdom and literally kidnaps 3 princesses to be wives for his half-brother. But this violence just backfires, totally ruining the life of the oldest princess, Amba. She ends up vowing that she will be the cause of Bhishma's death, so another curse is born from his sacrifice.
With no other options, a desperate Satyavati turns to this ancient and kind of controversial custom called Niyoga. And get this, she summons her first son, a powerful sage named Vyasa, who was born long before she ever met Shantanu. The plan is for Vyasa to father children with her now widowed daughters-in-law.
Vyasa agrees, but he asks for a year to clean himself up because his life as a hermit has left him pretty wild and scary looking. But Satyavati, she's just too impatient. She can't wait. She forces him on the widowed queens right away, and their reaction is just pure terror.
And that fear, it literally shapes the next generation. One queen, Ambika, shuts her eyes in terror so her son, Dhritarashtra, was born blind. The other queen, Ambalika, turns pale with fear, and her son Pandu is born pale and sickly. A third son, Vidura, is actually born healthy and wise to a maid who wasn't scared, but because of his low birth, he can never be king. So the dynasty has heirs, but they're all fundamentally flawed, born from pure desperation and fear. So now the whole future of the kingdom comes down to these flawed heirs, the older blind brother, Dhritarashtra, and the younger, sickly one, Pandu, who ends up being crowned king because his brother is blind.
But you'd think the curses would stop. But no, not even close. One day, King Pandu is out hunting, and he accidentally shoots a sage who is, in the middle of lovemaking. With his dying breath, the sage curses Pandu. If he ever touches a woman with desire, he will die on the spot. So now the king can't produce an heir. The only hope is a secret magic spell his wife, Kunti, happens to possess.
So at Pandu's desperate request, Kunti uses her special power to summon different gods to father children for him. These are the famous 5 Pandavas. Meanwhile, back at the palace, the blind brother Dhritarashtra and his wife Gandhari are getting more and more jealous and desperate to have an heir of their own. This just deepens the rivalry that is about to tear their entire family and their entire world apart.
So the stage is set. We have 2 sets of cousins, born from this tangled mess of curses, miracles, and just plain desperate decisions, and they're all about to fight for the same throne. It really leaves us with this one haunting question. When a family is built on this much tragedy, was war really the only way this could end? Was it just inevitable?